Everyone wants to flip a home until you get stuck in a rehab for 6 months. One of the biggest mistakes I see sellers make is they fall in love with a number instead of the actual number that matters. And the key question I always have them ask themselves is, does this make financial sense? Now, guys, check the description below. I have my free seller guide where I go from A to Z in regards to how you should sell your house, the things and the pitfalls that you can avoid so you not only make the money that you're looking for, but you sell in the time period that makes most sense for you and your family. Now, before we even started talking about putting this home back on the market, we had to have a conversation. Does it still make sense to list this home at the price we're thinking of it? Because remember, we lost 6 months dealing with the BS, right? Of these, I'll be nice, right? These things the county implored on us. But what that 6 months meant to the investor, that's another 6 months of payments. That's another 6 months of utilities. That's another 6 months of the crew having to make the adjustments so we can get this home clear to put on the market. We had to go back through the numbers, and why this is important is because before I list any home, we're going to sit down and go over the actual numbers. So what I mean by that is we're doing things like taking a look at the comparables, okay? And for those who don't know what comparables are, it's you're taking a look at homes that are similar to your home. And I don't like to go out more than a half a mile. In addition to that, you're going to want to take a look at similar bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, etc., etc. So taking a look at this home, right? Even though we're looking out 6 months to see what has sold in the past 6 months, I personally like to look at 3 months so we can really get an idea of what these comparable properties are looking like. Evaluating those numbers again in a different market, we had to sit down and talk to each other to see kind of the strategy. Because remember, like I said in the first video, the strategy also had to change. Now we were dealing with a different buyer pool. In that spring and summer, you guys have a ton of more opportunities, more buyers are out there looking, as opposed to the end of summer, beginning of fall, which is when we were putting this home on the market. All those numbers had to get evaluated first. How we do that is we do something magical called a net sheet. So that net sheet is going to give us a gross amount of what we believe the home is going to sell for. Then after that, it's going to start subtracting, right? You're going to look at things called title fees, lien searches, the commissions, and then you're also going to add your rehab costs, right? So this rehab was anywhere between, you guys can see the finishes, right? Especially in the next video where we do the home tour, you're going to see the detail that was put in this home. So we're looking at a rehab anywhere between $60,000 to $80,000, right? So you're subtracting all of that, and then you end up with your net. That's the money you're going to walk away with, putting in your pocket. So remember, we're not worried about the number that you're fantasizing about. We're worried about the number that you're actually going to get based off the market. And if you're okay with that number, we continue to move forward. If not, we talk about different plans and different strategies that make sense both for you and your family. Now, that's not the only thing that we have to keep in mind. And I know it's a lot, especially when putting your home on the market. You think you just, all right, let me put it on Zillow, Realtor.com, or Realtor puts it on MLS. In order for us to sell it in the time period that you're looking for and for the amount of money you want, we have to do a lot of this work up front. Now, we also have a team, right? So it's not just me. We have our virtual assistants, and then we have someone that we really lean on, especially when selling our house, as our go-to title company, Eleve Title. Emily does an amazing job, and she's going to talk about some of the things that she makes sure she does, especially for our investors like this current situation.
Hi, I'm Emily, owner of Eleve Title Company, and we love working with fix and flippers. Now, before you buy, we can help identify potential title issues like liens, judgments, open or expired permits. Time is money. And when you're looking at your investment project, you want to make sure that you kind of have a heads up and a preview into what that looks like. Speaking of time being money, costs. Some of the title tools that we have include net sheets, preliminary closing disclosures, All of the types of tools that you can look at to look at your return of investment. Now, one thing that I like to always point out for my investors is at Eleve Title Company, we do offer 50% off settlement services because we want to continue working with you. When you fix and you flip, the money counts. So give me a call if you have any questions. Emily with Eleve Title Co.
So you guys see all the work up front that we do to mitigate as many risks as possible before putting your home on the market. Now, getting into strategy, and also a key factor that I want to mention, especially if you're flipping the home, you don't make your money flipping a home when you sell it. You make it when you buy it. So one of the reasons why we continued on with selling this home is because the investor purchased the property at the right price. It mitigated that 6-month delay in regards to holding costs because we didn't buy it up against the margin. And that's very key if you're looking to flip a home and get a large profit. You have to buy it right. You have to go by your numbers. This is where I come in regards to a realtor. Once we have gone through everything, the net sheets, gone through our title company, etc., etc. Now we're talking about the strategy that we're going to do to get the most eyes on the property, because that's the name of the game. We have to get the most eyes on our property so we can get the offers in. Now, like I mentioned before, we had to switch strategies. The strategies now that we're going after is that business professional, is that young couple getting their starter home. And we're not talking just posting this on Zillow. We're not talking just posting it on MLS. What I personally do, I'm spending anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 on marketing. And what I mean by specifically focus towards the person who we believe is going to purchase the home. What that looks like, Facebook ads, right? That we're pushing towards that person who is looking on Zillow or realtor.com. You know, we have some nice little secret methods that, you know, how you guys are always like, you say something and it magically pops up on your phone. We know how to do that for your home. So that's some of the things that we're also doing in regards to agent marketing, making sure that they're aware of the homes on the market. We have a team of virtual assistants who's reaching out to a pool of buyers that we also know who are aware of the property. In addition to professional photography, videography, etc., etc. Because like I like to tell my people, the beautiful thing about me selling your house is I don't make money unless I do my job. And if I don't do my job, guess what? I lost out on a couple $1,000s, right? So you can be confident in when we're doing all these things up front, when we're actively marketing your home and pushing to get it sold, we're putting our best foot forward, which is key. And especially in this particular home where we had to really pivot, right? To make sure that we're getting the results that we're looking for. So like I mentioned before, guys, all of this is in the description below. I have my free seller guide so you guys can review it, especially if you're looking to sell your home in the next 6 to 8 months. You can take a look and see the things that you guys might want to do before even reaching out to myself and Emily. And make sure you guys stay tuned to the next video where you guys can see all the bells and whistles of this amazing home and how we finally got it to the market and how it's going to show to you and your family.